bright, energetic, and young minds of CEG, AC Tech, and MIT who are here to attend our Placement Preparedness webinar, which focuses on enhancing your placement skills and acing the placement test. I hope this session would be immensely helpful in streamlining your placement preparation and will facilitate you to realize your dreams. Now I call upon Leo Aditya to take over the screen.
A very good morning to everyone, all the CEG, MIT and AC Tech students who have come here to join us on this Sunday in the morning. So first of all, I would like to thank all of you for spending your valuable time in this session. So I will tell the main aim of this session. Basically, when I entered final year, I was less aware of all the opportunities that were surrounding me. So at one point of time, we all will get to know what to do, when to do, how to get placed, etc. But at that point of time, it will be so late. Then we'll realize we should have done this somewhat earlier. So I don't want, we as LEO Club of CEG don't want our juniors to face the same problem. And that's why this placement preparedness session. So I think all the brown and red tag second and third years are here. So this is the right time to start your preparation. So this session is going to be a holistic view, an overall view of what all needs to be done rather than being specifically for this company or that company. So I will give you holistic idea and overall like a bird's view about everything. So this is our agenda for the day. First, an overview about the placements, then the eligibility criteria for each company, the types of companies that come, how to prepare and when to start preparing, and then finally we'll be having a doubts clearing session. So you can use the chat box to ask doubts if you want. So there are two types of placements, on campus and off campus. So in on campus placements, you will not be going to the company directly and applying. There's a training and placement office in each college. So the training and placement officer who will be the in charge for your placements will be receiving the applications on your behalf and he'll be forwarding it to you. So you will have to approach the company through your college. That's called on-campus placements. And in off-campus placements, as you will be knowing, we'll be sending the application letter directly to the HR of the company along with your resume and they will be contacting you if they are in need of you. If they have any vacancies, they will be contacting you if you send your applications to them. This is called off-campus placements. And now coming to the eligibility criteria, first, there is no universal criteria like if you have this many CGPA or you should not have any arrears like that. So it differs from company to company and role to role obviously. So you cannot tell that only if you have above 9 you will get placed or something like that. No, that's not the case. Firstly, there are so many types of companies. Only some companies come to certain colleges. So not all colleges are eligible for all types of placements. So first is college. Second is department. So some companies will ask only CSIT. Some companies will ask CSIT EC. Some companies will ask mechanical related branches. Some companies will be accepting students from all branches, etc. So department-based eligibility is that. Next is CGPA and backlogs. So first I told about college. So only if your college is eligible you can apply. Second is your department must be eligible. And third is you must have the CGPA and backlog based eligibility criteria. That is, some companies will ask above 7.5, some companies may ask above 8, some companies may say above 6 and no current arrears, some companies may say 7.5 and no current arrears, some companies may say even if you have history of arrears you can apply, or some companies may say if you have 2 current arrears you can apply, or some companies may not specify anything at all. Like anybody can write a test irrespective of the number of arrears which they have and get placed, but this is very rare. Okay, so it's always safe to have 7.5 to 8 CGPA and never have arrears. That's what I would say. Because 90% of the companies have the eligibility criteria as no current arrear. So I would strongly suggest everyone to clear your arrears if you have and not have any arrears at all. So these are the eligibility criteria, and I would also tell one more thing. And getting a just pass mark is also not required because many companies, if you want a decent salary, they will ask for 7.5 to 8 CGPA. So always try to have a high ambition, try to get more than 9. If not possible, at least 7.5. So coming to the job description, so I told that the TPO will send you the details of the company. So in that particular details, you can find all these things. The name of the company, that will be in the first line. The next is role. For example, for freshers it will be developer role or something like that, or quality assurance engineer. And CTC is cost company, and I will talk about this in the next slide. Okay, cost company will be in lakhs per annum, that is LPA. So per year, this much lakhs, like that. And the eligible branches, all branches are only specific branches, like that. And then the recruitment process, that is what are the stages in their recruitment process. PPT means about the company pre-placement talk. That is, the company will conduct a meeting where they will explain about their company, their revenue, and their centers, the kind of work that they do, and the kind of exposure a person can get by joining the company, etc. And then the online test. Mostly it will be an MCQ test wherein they will ask aptitude, coding, verbal ability, etc. And then there will be the tech and HR interview. Some companies have maths interview also. The technical interview, they will be asking about the knowledge that you have gained in your department or in the departments which they have interest over. And HR interview, they will be asking general questions like tell me about yourself, what are your interests, why do you want to join this company, will you be able to work anywhere throughout the world, or will you be able to go for night shifts, etc. And then we have the confirmed dates, that is the date for the PPT, date for online test, and date for HR interview. Only if you clear the online test, you will be called for the technical interview, and only if you clear the technical interview, you will be called for HR interview. Sometimes the technical and HR rounds may happen together also. And then since it's completely online now, we have this registration link. It will be mostly by a Google form, Microsoft form, or something similar to that, wherein we'll have to fill all our details, name, then department, roll number, history of careers if you have, and your current CGPA, and your resume link. All those things you will have to fill. So let me come to the application process. As I told, you will be asked to apply through Google Forms. The company's own website itself will have a separate link for it sometimes. Or there is a platform called Superset wherein it's exclusively for applications. So if the company registers itself in Superset, then you can apply to that also. Actually, if you create a profile in Superset, you can apply for many companies, whichever you are eligible. The details needs to be filled only once. So depending on the details you have filled, they'll be mapping you to the companies. If your college is eligible, or if you are eligible for that. Then second thing is apply only if you are eligible. So the company may say only above 8 CGPA can apply. So even if your CGPA is 7.9, you should not apply, because 1.9 and 8 are different. The companies will be very strict about that. And if they find that you have not matched the eligibility criteria and you have applied, then they will take serious actions. Both the college and the company will take serious actions against you if you apply without meeting the eligibility criteria. And then next is care at filling the mail ID and personal details. So personally, I have seen many students who put gmail.com. They put gmail.com instead of gmail.com. They may miss one M, one A, or they may fill their mail ID wrongly. And as a result, they will be losing out all the mails, the interview calls, or the test details, because everything will be sent through email only. So if you see for this meet itself, we sent an email to everyone with the WhatsApp group link. But only, very sorry to say, only 50% of the registered students opened their mail and joined through that. Others did not even check their mail. So I would like to strongly suggest all of you to keep checking your mails. At least turn on the notifications for your email so that you will be seeing it regularly. Okay, because everything when it comes to job will come only through mail. They not send WhatsApp or call or text messages. So we'll have to be active on email, whether you like it or not. So always be active and keep checking your mails regularly so that you don't miss out any updates. And make a note of the test date also so that you do not miss any dates. And one more thing is resume. We'll talk about this resume later, because when we start talking about resume, it will itself take 2 to 3 hours to tell how to build a good resume. So now just understand that resume is simply your profile or your biodata. Okay, it's not that, there are a lot of other things also. We'll discuss it later. So just for now, I'm just telling resume means your biodata. It contains your name, address, phone number, your credentials, that is your marks which you got in your college, 10th standard, 12th standard, your projects that you've done, your special interests, and then your areas of specialization, etc. So that's your resume, and all companies mostly ask for your resume in application link itself. So what you have to do is you have to give a unique resume link. Generally, what people do is they will create a PDF file of their resume and upload it in Google Drive and share the link. The link will be too large, and sometimes it's difficult for us to search for it because when multiple companies come on the same day, ask you to apply for their company the same day, it will be difficult for you to search for the link, copy it, and paste. So I have an idea. In your Google Drive, you can create a folder called resume. I'm telling a folder, and in that folder you can upload your resume, and you can make the folder as shareable. Okay, don't make the PDF as shareable, make the folder as shareable. Hope you understand what I get. Hope you get what I am coming to say. So why I am telling this is, when you create a link for your folder, and that folder should have only your resume, nothing else. So why I am telling this is, sometimes you may want to change your resume. When the results are declared, your CGPA may change. You may complete your projects, you may complete some other courses. At that point of time, you need to change your resume. So if you create a link for the PDF, you cannot change it. But if you create a link for the folder, you can change it whenever you want. Okay, so do that, and you use tiny URL. That's a website. You can put the link, your resume folder link, in the tiny URL, and in the alias column you can give a roll number. So that, for example, you can say tinyurl.com/2019xxx, whatever is your roll number. If you create like that, it will be easy for you to fill in the application forms also. You can easily remember it. Okay, you can try this idea. It will be very useful for you. So coming to types of companies, there are 3 types of companies: core companies, IT product, and IT services. Core companies means companies related to your department. For example, mechanical companies. Mechanical department means construction, mechanical related companies like equipments building, and then automobile related companies. Those are core companies for your department. Similarly, for electricals we have, electronics we have, civil we have. So those companies are the ones that do work related to that particular department. And IT companies are also there. IT product companies means, and they are also core companies for the IT department, and they offer high salary comparatively, like 10 to 15 lakhs almost. And IT service companies are companies which do services for other companies. The companies which do not have sufficient IT infrastructure, they can contact these type of companies and they get the IT things done for them. So these are IT service companies, and mostly IT service companies accept all students from all branches. All students, in the sense, any department student can apply, but there will be a criteria like above 6 or no current years, etc. So do not miss any opportunity when it comes to IT services, because they are bulk hiring companies. They hire around 200 to 300 students from all 4 campuses put together, like they're almost average. So now coming to CTC, I told that we'll be having a field called cost to company in lakhs per annum. So many people mistake that to be your annual salary, but it's not that. So the CTC contains various components like housing allowance, clearance allowance, medical allowance, entertainment allowance, convenience allowance, etc. And this also varies depending on the company. So it also includes tax. So average, we can say that your monthly salary will be CTC by 15. If its annual salary is going to be CTC by 12, right? So it's not divided by 12, it will be 15 approximately, I'm telling. So if your CTC is 12 lakhs per annum, that doesn't mean you'll be getting 1 lakh per month. That's what I'm going to tell here. It will be somewhat lesser than 1 lakh only, because it contains various allowances also. Okay, so coming to how to prepare for these placements, there are 2 types of strategies: company specific strategy and common strategy. So as second years and third years, what you can do is, by the end of your third year, you can complete the common prepared strategy. That is for all companies. There's a common strategy. Okay. After completing this, you can go for company specific strategy also. What I'm coming to tell is, once if you complete the common strategy, then it will not take much time for you to prepare for specific companies. So after the call comes, that is the application invite comes from companies, you will not spend much time studying from the basics. So if you are very thorough and clear with the basics, you can just revise it or just check the additional areas and go. You will not start from the basics and it will take a lot of time. So you can save a lot of time and also prepare wiser and better. Okay, so this is the general strategy. So you have to be strong in all these things before completing your third year. That is quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, probability, coding, and group decisions for some companies. So now coming to coding, this is called as a new mathematics because in 12th standard we all studied mathematics and only then we entered this engineering college. Okay, so your max mark plays a very big role in your cutoff also. Likewise, just like how maths is important for engineering, now coding has become important for placements. Even banking companies, IT service companies, every company asks for your coding knowledge. You need to be strong in at least one programming language, be it C, C++, Java, or Python. So I would urge everybody to learn coding. You need to complete basics of coding, but don't stop with that. You go for advanced coding also. Because you may think I am from mechanical or I am from production, industrial, or some other branch. So why do we need to study coding? It's not like that. Companies, even IT product companies, sometimes come for all branches. They specify this reason itself. They say some students may not get the CS or IT because they had low aggregate score at 12th standard. But we don't want to leave them also. We are recruiting them provided they have sufficient knowledge in coding, equal set of CS and IT students. So always aim for the highest whatever you can achieve. So I would suggest everyone to read competitive programming, etc. So that not just basics but the highest level whatever you can do. For quantitative aptitude, I will suggest book. It's called R.S. Agarwal. This book is called. It can be said as the what to say. This book is the Bible for all placement related and competitive examinations aspiring students. Okay, so this book is very important, and you have to work out some selected topics in this book completely. There will be so many topics in this book if you see. Around 20 plus topics are there, but there are some very important topics which you need to focus on. You have to be very thorough with all those topics and solve all the examples and exams in this book. That will complete your initial strategy itself. Your how to say common placement strategy. Okay. In terms of quantitative aptitude, this book is more enough for that. So I would like to ask everyone to go through this book and work out all the example and exercise problems. These are topics of quantitative aptitude which you need to practice from R.S. Agarwal. Okay, you can also watch YouTube videos. You can just type all these topics in YouTube and you'll get a lot of videos related to these topics. I don't want to waste my time by reading out these topics. You can just go through it, or you can just take a screenshot if you want. Okay, these are topics that are very important for your placements, and you can complete all these topics by the end of your third year in R.S. Agarwal or YouTube by watching videos. First, you can watch videos related to these topics. Okay, then you can start solving the R.S. Agarwal problems. Next, come logical reasoning. Okay, data sufficiency type questions are the most important in logical reasoning. Anagram is asked sometimes. Syllogism is also asked by some companies. And blood relations, substitution type questions are all very common things only. And unfolding the cube is also something which you will have to think and answer. You can just take note of all these topics also. You can search in YouTube and you will find a lot of videos related to these topics. Okay. And direction is also a very common topic which you all may be knowing. It's very easy also. Okay, you can just note down all these topics and search in YouTube. Okay, so answer this question. Read and answer. Try to answer. Okay, so I will tell the answer. X is a prime number or not. Statement 1 is X is a rational number. So rational number is any number that can be expressed in the form P by Q where Q is not equal to 0. Okay, so 3 is a rational number because 3 by 1 can be expressed in that form. Same way 5, 10, 12, all are rational numbers only. Minus 1 is a rational number. So let's take 12 for example. 12 is a rational number. Okay, so 12 is not a prime number, right? Because it has two factors, two prime factors, 3 and 4. It's not a prime number. So using statement 1 alone, you cannot say that X is a prime number or not. So you can rule out the options A and C. Okay, because C option says either statement 1 or statement 2 is needed to answer the question. But no, it's not like that. So statement 2 is X is an even number. Okay. Even number, rational number. Can be a prime number. 12, same example. 12 is an even number. It's not a prime, right? You can even, for example, you can take 2. 2 is rational, 2 is even, but it's prime. 2 is just one case where you can say that X is a prime number. But not in all cases, okay? The number need not be 2, it can be 12, it can be 24. So all the numbers satisfy both statement 1 and statement 2, but they are not necessarily prime numbers. So the answer is 3. Both are not sufficient to answer the question. So this is an example of data sufficiency question. They'll give a question and give true data. So with the help of that data, whether the question can be answered or not will be your question. Okay, so next is verbal ability. So coming to verbal ability, we have reading comprehension, find the error in sentence, meanings, opposites, and you'll be given 5 sentences in random order. You'll have to find the correct order in which they have to be arranged to make a meaningful paragraph. Okay, reading comprehension is very, very easy. All will be MCQ only. Okay, so you'll be given a passage and you'll be asked questions based on that. You'll have to select the most appropriate one. But not be very easy like how we did in school. You'll have to think. You have to think logically. You have to infer and write the answer. It will be like that. Then find the error in sentence. You'll be given a sentence. It will be broken into 4 parts. And which part has error, you'll have to tell. That's this particular session. And meanings, you'll have to read. Extensive reading can help you in answering these kind of questions. Okay, and opposites also. So it will be somewhat of higher standard only, but you can answer if you are an avid reader. You read a lot of books. If you read newspapers, you can answer all these things. You can also watch YouTube videos. You can actually put the company's name and put verbal questions. You will get a lot of videos in maybe part 1, part 2 in parts, or one full video which will explain all the questions that the company had asked in various sections in the previous years. Coming to the most important part of your placement process, the coding. Okay, you have to study the basics of either Python, C, C++, or Java. These 4 coding languages are commonly available in all companies or softwares. Okay, you can code in any of these 4. And some people may think that since they are weak in coding, if they write the logic itself, they will give marks, something like that. No, it's not like that. I'll tell you how your coding scores are being graded. Okay, there's something called test cases. So if you write a code, it will be given some 10 to 12 test cases, out of which 2 also will be public. So I'll tell you what test cases. So if you write a program for multiplication, say, so multiplying 2 numbers is your program, and the test cases may be 3, 4, and the answer must be 12. So the compiler will itself input the values of 3 and 4 and check if your program is working fine and gives a value of 12 or not. That will be shown to you also. Test case number 1, pass or fail. Test case number 2, pass or fail. And similarly, these are public test cases where you can see the test cases whether they are working or not. There will be hidden test cases also. They're called private test cases. So you will not be knowing the test cases. Internally, it will be worked out. And finally, your score depends on the number of test cases you actually pass. For example, out of 12 cases, if you pass 10 cases, etc. So why I am telling is, if you are writing a logic for multiplication, say, so you leave out the 0 case. So anything multiplied with 0 gives 0 for your logic. Then everything else will work except 0. So you will not be passing all test cases. Likewise, so you have to make sure that you pass the maximum test cases as possible, so that you clear the test. And then MCQs will be having related to coding. That is very basic. What are arrays? What is meant by pointers? What's a null pointer? What's a dangling pointer? Or what do you mean by call by value? What do you mean by call by reference? And the sorting algorithms. So all these things you must have learned in your 12th standard if you are a CA student, or in your first year in CT, computing techniques. Okay, so these are in that subject you need to be very strong. You can revise that subject. It's very, very important. So you can go through that. And stack, heap, queue, linked lists, all these are very important topics. You can search in YouTube. So next is resume preparation. So I told about the first round. It is the aptitude and coding rounds. Once you clear this, you'll be called for the interview mostly. Sometimes you'll be having a second round. It is group discussion. But only some companies have group discussion, others directly call you for the interview. Mainly IT services type companies they have only 2 rounds. One is the coding round and aptitude round, and next one is the interview round. So for your interview, resume is very important because you are going to make the interviewer ask you questions based on that. Okay, it's going to serve as a question bank for the interviewer because he'll be asking you only based on the projects which you have done, the subjects which you are interested in, all those things. Okay, so if you say that you are strong in something in your resume, you should really be strong in that. Because when they ask you questions related to that, if you don't answer, then the interviewer will think that you are lying, you are a liar. Okay, so only if you know something very well, you put it in your resume. Or if you know only the basics, just put that only basics I know. Okay, you should mention that. You cannot just fill pages in your resume because it's not a very good practice to do that. Your resume can be maximum 1 or 2 pages. That's all. A simple and crisp resume is what the interviewer expects from you. So the summary is the first part of your resume, when you will have to summarize yourself in 2 to 3 lines. The next is a professional picture. Okay, a picture has to be mandatorily used. It has to have a clean background, preferably a white background, and you should not wear all your casuals, etc. in your picture. It should be a formal looking one. And then email ID and phone number, very very important, because only using the email ID and phone number they will reach you. So don't make any mistakes in writing your email ID and phone number. Now writing your phone number, if it is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, okay, don't write it continuously. You can write 1 2 3 4 5 space 6 7 8 9 10. That will look more professional. Okay, and then LinkedIn account is very very essential. Okay, so generally the interviewers will search for your LinkedIn account and find out the certifications and skills which you have. And then professionalism is very very important. In your LinkedIn account, you cannot you should not share something related to your ideology or something into politics, etc. That will have a very very bad impact on on your interviews, because that really shows you who you are, what kind of ideology you follow, which parties you support. You don't make sure that the interviewer gets to know all those things by seeing your social media profiles. Okay, that's very very important. You should always be have a neutral appearance while seen from social media platforms. You can congratulate someone in LinkedIn, that's not a big issue, but don't do all these things. It will not look good if you do. And then standard formatting is in your resume you should not put 1 line in bold, 1 line in italics, underline 1 line, etc. You should follow the same formatting, same font size, same font color, same texture. It has to be very very neat and professional looking. And then you can include your technical and non-technical skills. Technical in the sense the programming languages, your projects, your certifications, etc. Non-technical means like the example, the clubs which you are in, the NGOs which you are a part of. All these things are non-technical. And then academic credentials in reverse chronological order means first you have to put your graduation, then your 12th, then your 10th. It has to be in that order. Okay, you should put your year of passing from latest to oldest. That has to be in order. So coming to the interview, technical interview, it depends on the brands and nature of company. That is, if you are applying for a IT company, then they will ask your technical interview based on your coding skills, the data structures, algorithms, and whatever related to their company, whatever they want, and the latest technologies like AI, ML. You'll have to learn all those things. And mostly they will not ask you to write a code in the interview. I mean, sometimes they may ask, but mostly they're conceptual questions only. Like, why do we use this? Why do we use main? What's the purpose of main? Can a program compile without main? What's the purpose of using scanf? What is printf? And how is C++ different from Java? And so it's a very, very common question. Difference between C, C++, and Java. I recommend all of you to learn this, because in multiple interviews they have asked the same question. It's a very important question. Difference between C, C++, and Java. And similarly, difference between structure and union, difference between method overloading and method overriding, types of inheritance, types of polymorphism, what are the types of data structures, all these things conceptual I'm telling, not the what part of it, what is, all those things in a very basic level you'll have to understand. And the base of computer science, operating systems, TBMS, data structures, as I said, and test your core knowledge. Means if you are from civil department, how well you know civil engineering. If you are from mechanical, about mechanical, like that. So that is very important. They do is to just test how good you have done in your academics, because college is very important, right? So how well you are well versed in your college studies. And sometimes they may ask one or two aptitude questions also in the interview. That's what test your problem solving skills. And they will ask about the latest technologies, cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Okay, what are the different types of cloud? What services offered by cloud? Different types of cloud service providers. What is artificial intelligence? Difference between AI and ML. All these things they will ask in technical interview. And the basics of what you have studied. Okay, as I told you earlier, only the basic rudimentary understanding of all the concepts would help you in cracking these interviews. And one book I would suggest is Handbook of Mechanical Engineering by Harry Hunt. Handbook of Civil Engineering, Handbook of Computer Engineering. There are different handbooks by Harry Hunt publishers. So if you, it's in our university library. You can also buy it in the outside bookshops if possible. So if you buy that book and just go through it, you'll be getting the very basic idea about all the concepts related to your field of engineering. Okay, so I would strongly suggest everyone to read this book. It's in the library. You can actually, in the main library, it's there. You can actually get it and read. So this is a very important part. So now, due to COVID-19 pandemic, everything is happening online only. Interviews, your test process, everything is happening in the online virtual mode. So for that, you should have a laptop with webcam and mic. Okay, webcam must be proper, mic has to be proper, and never use a mobile phone. I would say, because mobile phone does not support many versions. In many companies, they will ask you to download a secure exam browser, SCB, like how you did for your proctor exam, your art semester of 2021. Okay, like that exam, will be asked to download a browser and SCB, and you have to turn on your video and audio and write it. It will be a proctored one. Okay. So from company to company, software may vary. And then you have AMCAT is one such platform. Okay. AMCAT is a place where the companies actually, it's a platform to connect tests. And it will be a proctoring system. You should not do any malpractice. If you are suspected to be indulging in any sort of malpractice, then you will be debarred from the process. And then camera should be on throughout this. You cannot turn off the camera at any point of time. And you should be in a professional dress code. You should not wear casuals, etc. You need to wear formals only. And then the background should be clean. There should not be any light source behind you. You should have it in front of you, because the light may make your image invisible. And then, as I told you, you should not invest in any sort of malpractice. Then net connection has to be stable. Okay, you should not use a mobile hotspot and all. Wi-Fi is preferred. Okay, so the net connection should not get disconnected in between. Okay, and sometimes the companies may conduct mock exams, that is dry runs. So please take up all those dry runs and check for your compatibility and make sure that there are no issues. Okay, so this completes my my talk. With still which means keep your thoughts always higher and try to achieve them. Even though they couldn't be achieved, do not lose hope. Why I am telling this is, always try to get the best possible offer, having the highest CKC and better perks, and always aim for it and prepare for it. There are no restrictions whether you are from whichever department you are from. If you have the required skills, you can get placed in your dream company. And do not lose hope, and do not get depressed if you don't get set in one company, because you have ample opportunities. Trust me. Okay, there are multiple companies coming to our campus. A lot of companies are coming. Okay, so if you don't get one, you'll get in the other. So always keep trying, keep achieving. Thank you.